make the camera. There we go. There we go. Camera was on. I don't know what that is. Let's go to my channels. Check. We're going to go to jump way up here. Live. Live. Let me get a guitar sound. What's up, man? Back to normal. Man, I had to sleep it off. Bro, I was so fucking tired yesterday. I tried to stay up for Joe, and then I tried to stay up for Glam Metal. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for tuning in yesterday. I just wanted to get that out in the open. And, I don't know if you guys know who... So, like, I know a lot of guys are going to tune in. I watched a video called Big Jake Music where he was talking about Fender, and he did this interview with a small builder. So he kind of disguised the screen, and this lends beautifully into my argument. Yeah, so he has the screen is blacked out of this builder, and I said, just for devil's advocate, Big Jake, tell me what that guitar on the left is. Everybody's going to say a Fender Strat. When is the telly shred off? What do you mean? Oh, the telly shred off? I don't know. We should play it. I hung it up over behind me. Let's see. I have to get it though. The telly shred off. That's a great... Well, I'm waiting for Andy Wood's response to Sir, because I know he's getting a talking to. Everyone's backtracking now. Philip McKnight backtracked yesterday. They're all backtracking. If you know who Jace Allen is, he shows these Chinese guitar copies too. And he tried to deflect my conversation yesterday saying, give me a break, Fender's made billions of dollars, why I show $250 guitars. How fucking anti-American. Man, I feel better. I am going to Quiet Riot tonight since I feel better. I contacted Robert Sarzo. I was like, dude, I know it's at the last minute. Can you see? Can you call your brother and maybe get me, backstage or something? Because I got free tickets, but they didn't send me the passes. So we'll have to see tonight if I can get. So I'm gonna call. I'll have someone film it for me, because if I can get, I want to go a little early and see if I can catch Rudy on the way in or Alex, and then that way I can get back there. I hated that solo though, and to bang your head. I really hated that. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'll see if I could get a hold of Rudy or somebody going in there. What's up, MT, Tony? Oh, you saw him in 93? Yeah, so like around, I don't even know what year it was. Probably Dragon City could tell you more about me when I was playing with them than I can. Well, it's been a long time. And everybody always thinks that you make a lot of money doing that, like as a sub guitar. But you know, subbing in for bands like that, you make $400 or $500 a gig, at best. I don't even think Quiet Riot can pay that now. Like at Dania Beach, there's going to be less than 1,000 people there, and tickets are $125. So I mean, say 500, 600 people, that's $6,000. Money goes to the venue. They're probably walking away with $1,000 each at best. At best. Because I'm sure Alex is taking most of the money because of the name and him booking it. So probably like, he's probably paying, I don't even know who the fucking drummer is for them anymore. But Jizzy's been with them a long time. Rudy should actually own the name. But you know, you figure if he's fair and honest, they're each making $4,000 at most, you know. And they just played a fair too. So I figured I'd come on and do a live stream before I get ready and stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to dress up tonight. Yeah, that's true. I made a lot of money with Expose, but anything after that, it wasn't equivalent. Even writing music for like big artists, just the music part, it's not a shitload of money. That's why I know that some people in the session world aren't fucking rich because they didn't write it. They're just redoing what was already written. That's why they got chord charts and everything, and they listen to the songs already done. Because again, the labels have to approve what the music is. They're not just gonna send an artist in like Taylor Swift to go sing songs on the spot. That all has to be pre-production work. That's why these session guys, some of them aren't honest about what they do. Like Justin Ostrander and Nikki. Now, I used to like Big Jake Music's channel too, but he's starting to get weird with these fucking fur coats, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? I understand you're trying to make money and get your channel built up and whatnot, but it gets to a point where the fuck are you doing? You're not a celebrity. You're a YouTuber. Even if you have a band, you're not famous with your band. Your band's not famous. You're a famous YouTuber. That's what grades under my skin the most, you know. And people let that shit go to their head. And the whole thing, like I said on another channel, because he got cocky with me. Oh, PRS isn't safe. They're safe. PRS is going to be fine, even without a Silver Sky. PRS is going to be fine, and they're going to have a Silver Sky. How they work out the deal? Now, that deal may change next week. Who knows? Fender can put an end to that if they want in the news. You know, and most of the people that are on social media have no fucking clue what they're talking about. And Wall Street, you know, they're not leaked the info. They investigated what happened. The Wall Street Journal investigated into the claims of what Fender was doing based on Philip McKnight leaking information. He leaked the fucking PRS thing too through LSL. He's a piece of shit. He should not. I hope he gets sued, because that's the only way someone like that's going to get humbled and learn their lesson. I like his channel, but he needs to shut the fuck up sometimes. And he backpedaled all day yesterday. But that's the kind of thing that kind of, what are you going to do? But I'm starting to see a movement. Like, people are starting to get hip to and go, yeah, LSL, I saw the Saticoy. It's an exact duplicate. So, and then who was working for LSL? A Fender fucking master builder. Yeah, we need to get that grifter pedal made. That's kind of a cool idea right there. No, and Fender's not going after all these companies because it would be pointless to go out. They're trying to stop Amazon and eBay from importing all these bullshit copies that anyone could slap a sticker on, number one. And Fender got pressured into going after PRS through LSL, who had a master builder from Fender called Chris Fleming. I'm a little more coherent today. But that's what PRS did. They fucked up when they got McCarty in there, who created the Gibson Les Paul and the Flying V, and then did a similar build. And I don't know exactly all of the story. I don't remember it. But I know there was a big lawsuit with that. And I think Gibson won everything. Where PS had to add. I still think they make a McCarty, but it's completely different than the original ones. Yeah, I'm getting good at running this, ain't it? I got this shit down now. I think I even saw stereo. I adjusted everything. I had everything preset up. Bam, 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 bam. Next, I'll wear some fur coats. Oh man, that would be tough. Yeah, Amazon and Amazon and eBay. 70% of their sales are Chinese shit. And I got nothing wrong with China, but at least give the licensing back to the officially licensed companies like Fender and Gibson and everybody else. Even if they made chipsons, let them get licensed. You know what I mean? So they get a cut of that too. I'm sure Gibson would allow it, but just use a fake serial number and they're fine. That way Gibson can control the fakes. Fender can control the fakes. Not a bad idea. Make those companies get licensed through Fender as exact replicas so they can make money off the exact replicas. But if it's licensed, it has to have a certain serial number that's not even identical to Fender or Gibson, so you know you're not getting fucked. Good idea, right? Because you can't stop it. It's like drugs. You're never going to stop it. So at least create a licensing deal so that you're making money and you protect the people. I might have to suggest that to Fender and Gibson. Man, that's a big jump. No, I don't even think they have to do that. As long as they got like some kind of, this says Fender made in Mexico, right? So you put chipson on the back of the headstock. You know what I'm saying? Put like a certain serial number. Put chipson or Fenderism or whatever you want to say. But you can have the logo there. But on the back, it shows you exactly what it is, and you have to have a special plate with the serial number as well. I mean, there's ways around that you can protect the people. You know what I mean? Why not? And then Fender and Gibson make money off that, which is a lot of money. Or maybe Gibson and Fender should make their own Fenders and chipsons. Maybe they should make their own fakes. Licensed by Squire in China. What's that? I was getting annoyed that Fender was trying to split musicians up like everywhere else. That would be a mess up, but not surprising. Yeah, I don't think they're trying. There's nothing with musicians. I think what it is it's. I think social media did that. I think that the YouTubers are fucking with people in general. Yeah. The license idea would be great because anyone that wants to make a copy, let Fender get a cut so they can regulate the fakes from the reals. It's a great idea. Sell the $99 copy, but it has to be licensed through Fender. So maybe every guitar gets a $25. So you sell the $99 guitar for $125. Fender gets 25 of that dollars. So if they sell a million of them, there's 25 million that goes to Fender. Problem solved. It's kind of like immigration. I got nothing about no problem with people coming into the country legally. You want to come in here, don't get on welfare, don't get on Medicaid. 8 years minimum mandatory in the military. Prove your self worth in this country. Learn English. You go to school. You get free housing. You get free education, and you're not going to be stuck in a tomato field being taken advantage of. I don't want to see them being taken advantage of either. So if you come in the country, do it legally and go through the military. You want faster. You want to be. You want faster into the Americas. You have to. You have to join the military. Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. A Chender. A Chender. Chipson and Chender. That's great. So maybe the serial numbers all have CH in there. CH, CH. So it says Chipson and Chender. And they have that on the back, CH. So it's a licensed agreement with Chipson and Chender out of the Chinese factory that's probably making fucking Squire. You know what I mean? Nice. I love all guitars. Like the Ibanez I bought was $300. It's a great guitar. I bought this for $300. You know what I mean? I mean, if I find a nice used guitar like this, I got no problem buying used. You know what I mean? Why would I have a problem buying used? Used helps the markets. Everybody makes money. Guitar Center makes money. People make money. They might be trading it in for an upgrade. So I help them by buying their used gear. Because let's face it, if we don't buy used gear from shops, they're going to stop the trade-in, right? But if trade-ins weren't successful and Guitar Centers and mom and pops didn't make money off trade-ins, they'll stop it and then we're all fucked. So I do the trade-ins. I don't mind buying trade-ins. It helps the next guy to trade in. Maybe even get more money for his trade-in because it's a lucrative business. So by that, you're supporting everything. You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to that either. So what, like what would you have? Like Jace Allen, he's selling. You're mad at me for selling $250 guitars? Yeah, because I bought this for $300, which is a real Fender, made in Mexico, used. So why am I gonna buy a piece of shit for $299 or $250 and get a fucking coffin case with upgrades? It makes no sense to me because these people are fucking in the ear of social media people that aren't smart enough to understand buying traders. Like PRS. John bought a Silver Sky, an original one from 2024 that was still in the case. It's new old stock. He got it for around, I think he said 18 or 2. The Fender, yeah, Fender Squat. Yeah, that's great. I have a Squire coming called the 50s Vibe. It's a Strat. It's a 50 Vibes. Now it's licensed. It doesn't say Fender on the headstock, I don't think. It says Squire, maybe Fender in small letters, but it's a licensed replica on the cheaper side. If you can get a used Squire for $250, $300, that's still better quality than most of these Chinese guitars. Same like this. Will this guitar compete against any Andy Wood Serg model that he sells for 36 and 4600? He's got 2 models. I think so. I think that sounds fucking great. Oh, wait. Oh, really? The Les Paul Standard? I forgot to go, dude. I'm so sorry. I got to go on your channel and see that guitar, the Les Paul, the Epiphone. I fell asleep, man. I tried to go on to some of the channels, and I ended up passing out. I didn't even get to see Glam Metal Hippie. I hate to be like that, and disappoint some of the people because I try my hardest to spread myself. Like, I try to answer all the questions or come over to the channels and get loaded in. You guys know I try to answer everything, and it's hard for me because, I get my watch views are around, I think 16K. Maybe it's 1600. I don't know. I get a lot of watch hours. I'd have to look at my analytics. But, so there's a lot of comments and a lot of I'm almost ready to, don't worry. But, like, I try to get around as much as I can and help everybody that I can. Last night was rough on me, though. Even Deer Creek was like, dude, you looked rough. He's like, I'm glad everything went well. Yeah. So, it's just tough. Like I said, I might not even go to Quiet Riot tonight, but I feel a lot better that I slept and, because I ended up falling asleep. My plan was to go to bed later, but I just passed out. Yeah, I mean, even the Charvels itself for $500. The Jacksons. So, like, even if you didn't want, I guess that. So here's the thing, right? That's made in Mexico. This is made in Mexico, right? Let me just be sure. Yeah, MX. This is a Mexican. I got this used for $500. It's not a USA, but for $500, more than say those guitars, like the better guitars, like the Leo James and all those guitars. What are they? $299 for $200 more dollars. I have a Jackson that's licensed by Fender. You're telling me that this ain't worth an extra $200? That's insane. That's why those guys are like just fucking chills. It bothers me that they do that. They don't realize that they've been suckered into selling guitars because it's their channels and the gear starts rolling in. They don't keep none of the gear. They're not going to show you the contracts, any of it. And then it just goes, it's like feeding an addict. Oh, my channel's growing. Oh, look at all the guitars I got. I made a lot of money this year. And here's the thing. Those Chinese companies that come in and give that gear away, they can sell that stuff privately, and there's no taxes on it. So they're not claiming taxes on that shit. They put it on Marketplace, meet the guy, and they get $200 for a guitar that would cost you $299. I don't know. It's a beautiful finish. Even the back is beautiful. I took the cover off, but it's just a beautiful fucking guitar, man. Oh, yeah. That's exactly right, because the cheaper guitars are using cheaper nickel. They have to. They're using cheaper labor. Like these Chinese guitars, they're paying these people in the factories $150. But if you take Fender down, right? Let's look at Fender as a whole. Forget about They have a Mexican factory that supports Mexico, that has employees working from another country. They also have Squire in China. So not only do you hurt United States families by doing what they do, they would also hurt Chinese families. So you end up losing Squire, which is a huge part of Fender. Huge for the beginner guitar players. And now their quality was getting so good over there with the vibes and all those guitars, they're being sought after. So here you go again. You know, people don't look at the big picture or the back deals, you know, more to the story. Like the Extreme record, 3 sides to every story. There's always his side, that side, and then the truth in the middle, and then you get the there's probably like five sides to a story now. You get the YouTubers chiming in with no direct information, and everybody's going off of what Wall Street Journal investigated, who didn't leak any information. That's where, you know, the PRS story was leaked probably from Phil McKnight when Wall Street, and I don't know how he got that information, because that's not really in the news yet. Yeah, get the fuck out. I forgot to play that. And that still hurts my finger. I might have to put the pick higher up. Kind of picking like this. I don't know if you could see. So I got it off the tip. I usually keep it like right off the tip like this. But when I roll it like this, that, like, I don't know. You can't hardly see what I'm doing. When I roll my fingers, if you ever watch my picking, I roll my fingers. So there's not a big movement in my arm. You know, so like if I'm picking like this, you barely see my hand move. That's because I'm trilling like my hand like that. But this, man, I can't even see what I'm doing. I'm doing this too with my fingers like this. It's rolling it, which creates my hand to shake. So there's a little tip on my picking. Yeah, there's significant differences. Tortured, go on Big Jake Music where he's doing an interview, right? He said he did an interview to a small luthier builder and they did and now he's saying this luthier didn't want him to put the story out. So he had to do voice transformations, edit it, and then black out the person that gave him in the interview. What's up, William? But I asked him, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Big Jake. In the video shot of the luthier, what's the guitar on the left hand of the screen? He's going to answer, it looks like a Fender Strat. There's no way getting out of that because everything is blacked out and you see a silhouette. It looks like a Fender Strat. This is how Fender will win. So I'm able to shake my hand. I can't roll it this way. So I'll have to add more. So this sounds better than the Mexican Telly for metal. But here's the thing. That's not a metal guitar. Those Seymour Duncans have P90. It's just like a rock guitar. So this is kind of... working on my new Eric Johnson spin-off list. How do you take Eric Johnson and how do you make them your own? That's too funny, right? No, it's not better than any. It is a Fender. It's made by Fender. Jackson's owned by Fender, bro. But for rock, I like it good. But my Fender Purple plays just as good as this. You know what's better about it is the heel access on it for the metal. Yes, they can. And my suggestion overall was for Fender to work with Sweetwater, Musician's Friend, and PRS and get some of these other guitar companies behind them and do a push on YouTube to shut these fucking people up because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's all gossip at this point. Until it goes to court or litigation, zero. Not even me. I don't even know what the end result will be because that could be a year away. It could be 5 years away. Who knows? By then, somebody might have sold Fender. It's been sold a bunch of times. So, and I wouldn't put it past Paul Reed Smith to sell Paul Reed Smith. I mean, Dean Zielinski sold Dean. You know what I mean? Leo's Fender sold Fender. So would I put it past PRS to Paul to sell it? No, I wouldn't. I don't. Anybody at any given day could change, especially if Paul Reed gets sick and nobody wants, like kind of Sam Lash. So after there was one brother left, the other two brothers in Ash didn't want nothing to do with it. The kids didn't want nothing to do with it. So the one brother running it said, I had enough. It's too much for me by myself. So he sold Sam Ash. You know what I mean? Who knows? Yeah, descending pentatonics. So like you do ascending and descending. So if you go up, let's see. What if I did? What if I could do backwards 6? And instead of jumping octave to octave, I'd use an arpeggio. Let's try that. Ooh, nice. What's up, Dragon City? I'm going to go see our boys tonight. I'm going to go see Rudy and Alex. I don't want to. I asked. I got complimentary tickets, but I'm gonna go see Quiet Riot. I didn't even know they were playing here. They were sent to me yesterday at the last minute, so I called Robert. I'm like, bro, nobody gave me VIP for backstage, but I got complimentary tickets. Can you call Rudy? He goes, damn, he already did this. I have it on my phone. He already did the guest list. And I was like, fuck. Let me see if I could catch Rudy going in, and then I'll call Robert and say, hey man, somebody wants to talk to you, and that'll be funny as shit. But again, Dragon City, he's the real deal. He knows more about some of the stuff than I do. You know what's good about Dragon, and between me and him, he's got, because he's in the inside in the business as well. So like when you talk to other people inside the business, you get the real scoop backstage. So like if I wanted to talk to him, like he didn't know about Paul Shortino, but I didn't know about him and the other thing. And please check out Dragon City stuff. He's got some good stuff on there. Yeah, I'll go see them. Oh, John Kelly? Yeah. That's funny. I'll tell him. Yeah, so like I just had this idea. So like why would you teach Eric Johnson's licks and not say, how can I take his lick and improve it? You can even do the same run in between and then go back up. Oh, wait. Kind of cool, right? I'm gonna have to start working on that. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna go a little earlier to see if I can catch one of the guys and see maybe if I see Johnny there, I can get in there too. It depends. They all have. There's only one way in, and the band has to go up the same escalator that everybody else does. And I kind of stick out like a sore thumb anyway. And I get a big fucking mouth. I'll be like, Rudy, you gotta call. Hey, Dragon, do you know Johnny's number? I'll give you my email. And then I'll give you my phone number. They're playing at Dania Beach Casino in Dania Beach. It's a shithole. It's not a shithole. I shouldn't say that. But there's probably going to be maybe 600 people. At most 1,000. Oh, you got a Rudy sub? That's a cool... the bass? Nice. You sub Dragon City's channel? Nice. He's the real deal, man. So if I do the arpeggio and then do the sixes. See, that's another idea just now. That sounds great too, man. What's up, Brooklyn? I'm showing my ideas live again. The EVH? Yeah, that's a NOS, bro. It's a PVHP. It's new old stock. They only made 400. That was the 90s. It was handpicked wood by Eddie, and it never got used. So here you could do that Eric Johnson or Bonamassa. They're originally Eric Johnson links, but he does that sixes at the end. So I'm saying you could do an arpeggio backwards. Or you do it, what was the other one I was doing? Sixes. Or arpeggio up. Wow. I'm going to have to work on that. Yeah, Sam Ash, well, you know what they did? They were kind of clever about it. They sold the company out of state, so they weren't liable for the debt. But right before they went under, they borrowed a shitload of money. And they kept it. You know, they knew they were going to go out. I don't know if... I guess I could talk about it. They don't exist no more. I can't get sued. And they're out of the country, right? So they borrowed a shitload of money right before they went under, and they kept all the money to recoup a lot of their losses because they didn't really... They were already wealthy, and the kids... Like, the other brother that was a lawyer, he just wanted to play just jam. The kids didn't want nothing to do with Sam Ash. Yeah, they just... And it was one guy, one of the brothers, and he just fucking had enough. So what he did is he borrowed all that money and then fucking went belly up on the deal. Fucking closed everything. It's funny, but it's not, right? That's what I mean. This whole PRS and Fender with all these companies, there's not a whole lot of companies. There's no list. Nobody fucking knows how many Fender's going after. Nobody knows dick about it. It's all social media for fucking clicks. It's funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because Steve, did you, a Dragon? You remember Thor out of New York, and they had Steve Price on guitar? He grew up with the Ash brothers, and he actually ran one down here. I was good friends with him. He passed away. He was really good friends with Carmine Apiece. When I saw Carmine at the Vinny show that I did, I walked up to Carmine and told him I didn't know if he heard. It was Steve just passed away like suddenly. He was in the hospital, and all of a sudden he's fucking gone. And then sold. If Steve Price was still alive, he might have even been offered the store chain because he's been with Sam Ash since he was like 18. It's crazy, you know, the stories. And those are the stories behind the scenes. Again, there's the Wall Street Journal investigating what fucking McKnight is leaking, who has no direct ties to Fender. And then you have the real story behind the scenes. Like, a lot of people didn't know Chris Fleming from Fender, a fucking master luthier, worked for LSL Guitars. Nobody knew that. Who's talking about that? Nobody knows. That's why I'm saying there's like the Dragon City and me at a certain level, and then there's people, even above what we were doing, and then there's people that have no idea because the story's been told 100 times, and they got all the bits and pieces of it, and now they got it wrong, and they put out misinformation. Yeah, Thor. Steve Price was a great guitar player. We used to, I one of my biggest regrets is he came out to a show, and it was by accident that so somebody kept saying Ozzy, so we played Crazy Train, and we both played well, they weren't going to go at. So here's the thing: Fender wasn't going to go after PRS, but LSL, fucking. Oh, I can't say. So let's just put it this way: a company blackmailed Fender and said their guitar is no different than mine. So if you go after us, you need to go after them. They're creating a divide. These other companies are creating divides. That's why that thing happened, because realistically, if they were going to go after PRS Fender, they would have did that first, because they sell 1,500 Silver Skies per year. That's more than a boutique builder selling. You know what I mean? You're getting a Datuna for the BC Rich? That's interesting. I can't wait to see that. Yeah. How many non-disclosure deals did I do? Yeah, it's countless, man. Yeah, I've done shows: Quiet Riot, Rat, XYZ. I've done so many sub-ins. I've done so many shows with the bands. Beyonce, Tom Jones. I've done one-off shows. I've been called to do albums like Grace Jones's last album when the guitar player had a heart attack. Again, it's just, and that it's just crazy that my name gets mentioned all the time. I got called because of the labels, because John Mayer was upset over the Silver Sky stuff, and he's a label guy, and the labels all own each other, and they're all in cahoots, and they say, well, so and so has. So I went out there and flew out there and did a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing, Dragon. A lot of people don't know about the NDAs and how all this works. Even with your deals, like if you're signed by a guitar company, you're under contract and you sign an NDA. You sign no compete clauses. Most of them are like 3 to 10 years after. So like if I'm signed to say, so let's say I'm signed to Fender and I get a Jackson deal. I might be able to leave Jackson after 5 years, but then there's a no compete clause where I can't do an endorsement for 3 to 5 years. That's how it is. It's just fucking how it is. And there's so many NDAs in the fucking business that everybody doesn't know how that fucking works. Sometimes you even when you're working with a band, you have to sign an NDA because you know they don't want to disclose the fucking amounts that they're giving you. But if I'm doing a show with Quiet Riot or Rat or something as a sub, especially later on, it's $400. I don't even know what they like. I don't even know what Stephen Piercy gives like Eric now. But Joel's going to be playing for him. I know he's not going to play less than $400 or $500 a show. He might even get a little more because he's a draw. But I don't know what they're. And it's all about the deal. You know what I mean? It's all about the deal. You know. So who knows? It's funny. I just watched the count. I was up to like around 30. Now it's down to 19. Everybody wants to hear the Fender stuff from the outsiders, and then they go. Those are the guys that are like trolling for information so that they can come on and do their do their channels. Yeah. Why didn't Yeah, because Fender had no idea. They weren't even gonna. Because in Fender's eyes, the PRS looked similar, but it was very different. But because these other companies kind of blackmailed them into it, because that's how it happened. So they're looking for any excuse where they can get a bigger company involved to go after Fender, and it's not gonna work. Which artist will be the first virtual signing guitar artist? John Mayer, Eric Johnson, all those I don't think they can because when you have deals with companies, you can't go out there and say anything because you could, but you're an independent contractor, and if you start talking bad about a company, you will never get another deal again. Because if you trash Fender and you're with Fender, you're no one else is going to hire you because you're going to eventually they got it in their mind that you're going to eventually trash them. That's why I hope like Sweetwater gets rid of Rhett Shull. I mean, they had a talking to Sir. I've talked to Sir. I've talked to a lot of people. Now you're seeing a lot of bad Brads. We need Fender. Philip McKnight. We need Fender. The backlash is hit the big upper guys, and now it's raining down on them to a point. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's going to it's gonna it's gonna it's gonna hit. You know what I mean? There's a section where the water's gonna hit the wall, and it's just when is that wall gonna get in the middle? But you don't even woke guys like Bruce Springsteen. He's a Fender guy. You don't hear him talking shit about Fender. You're not gonna hear it. If anyone is gonna talk about Fender, it's gonna be Bruce Springsteen. Mr. Shaw, we need you to play ball. Well, a lot of people are getting talked to. Jonathan Nathan Corda, and now he said in the PRS, none of these guys listen. Yeah, they don't listen. They're all shills. Exactly. They get all these Chinese shitty guitars, and that's the thing. And they're going to promote everything because it's the same thing. Like if you bash Fender as a big artist, you're not going to get another endorsement. Or if you do, it's going to be lowballed because you opened your mouth. So like if you start saying these Chinese guitars sucks, don't waste your money for 250. You got to put electronics, you got to do this, you got to fucking get the neck fixed. Once you start that kind of thing once or twice, you're going to lose all those people that are going to give you that shit for free. It's going to. And I mean, there are some reputable companies out there like Donner and the Donner MT guitar. That was a decent guitar. But then a lot of people started, because it was a limited run, I've seen them, that guitar is like 120, 150 bucks, and people are selling them for $500 on eBay now. What? Pull out his Novo? But see, again, Really, the reality, it's all about opportunity. If you're an opportunist, you're gonna fucking run with the pack. Product demonstrator. Yep. There's a demon in demonstrating. Demo demon. Now, like, I can take this guitar. I can go in on any stage with Andy Wood. Any fucking stage with this guitar. I mean, most of these are probably what, $1,000 if you bought it new on the used. Why wouldn't I buy this used on the used market for $500? It's a Mexican guitar. It's not a USA builder. It's licensed to be made in Mexico. So they're Fender's spreading the wealth with Mexico and China, but it's under a licensed deal. Now this is fucking top-notch quality. I'll put this up against any guitar. Now, are all Jacksons made the same? Probably not. But Charvel in Mexico, they're pretty fucking close, man. I challenge any one of those fucking guys. Tim Pierce, Rhett Scholl, Andy Wood. I'll challenge any one of them to get on a stage with me with their fucking $8,000 guitar, and I'll end that shit quick. All right, Dragon City. I'll see if I see Johnny there. You can even do a run in there instead of doing sixes. So now you got 3 different licks. No, these aren't active. These are just they're just JB. I think this is a JB or a I think this is either a JB4 or it's a or it's a Duncan distortion. I'm gonna say it's a Duncan distortion. Probably slide into a lick too. Yeah, I did for 2 days. Andy Wood would not destroy me on stage, bro. And you're probably fucking one of the guys in the groups, right? Maybe even Zach. Andy Wood is not gonna fucking beat me on stage. He would. I've already asked him. I've asked Tom. I've asked Andy. I put it against anyone. Bro, I will fucking practice in woodshed. Get Andy Wood on fucking stage with me. I will practice for fucking 16 hours a day for 3 weeks, and I will fucking tear him a new asshole. Andy can't do what I do on a guitar, but I can play every fucking lick he can play. So there you go. Shut up or put up. Come on, Chinook. Put up or fucking shut up. I'll put $1 million up against any one of those fucking shills. You got money, Chinook? Let's bet. Bet me. Yeah. I fucking challenge Andy Wood, Tim Pierce, or any one of those fucking guys. You are not going to do nothing against me on a fucking stage. Nothing. Number one, I will win before they even play. Because they're fucking statues on stage. I'm an entertainer. So bullshit. I know what it takes. Andy Wood? Fuck him. He ain't that good. He's got technical ability, but name one lick Andy Wood does. It's not a fucking rip-off lick. One fucking lick. Show me one lick. He's ripped off Mateo. He's ripping off fucking Eric Johnson. He's good at fucking. He's a copycat. Just like the Sir guitars he plays. Fucking copycat. Where are you, Chinook? You went quiet now, didn't you? Money. Put up the fucking money. Or go home. I see. This is so everything I said. I told you Fender wasn't going to go after him. They're being blackmailed. Why didn't fucking Fender go after PRS that makes more fucking Silver Skies than any company? Because they were blackmailed. All these guys leak information all over YouTube, just like a Chinook. No, not Mateus Asado. He's good. But he's copping the Mansuko, Mateus Mansuko, or whatever, the kid from Italy. But even Mateus Asado and Mateus Mancuso, they play with fingers, but that's not original. But all the licks they're doing, like adding jazz licks and sixes, and none of them are creating any original licks. And they're good players. I'd rather listen to Mateus Asado than Andy Wood. For sure. 100%. I'd rather listen to fucking Gus Penny. Why? Because those guys, you know, Asado will play safe. I like to watch guitar players that take chances. Yeah, where's Chinook now? You know, how can I believe somebody with Chinook, Chinook, when here, no face, no guitar stuff. So it's probably Zach or Tom or one of these fucking dipshits with a fake account talking shit. And then they disappear. Why? Because they know. Bernth is great too. I like Bernth. I like Ola English. Yeah, if Andy Wood created all that shit 37 years ago before Eric Johnson, if Andy Wood had all the Eric Johnson's licks, he would have been more famous too. But the best he can do is go play with Eric Johnson and try to outplay him with his own licks. How does that make sense? That's like me getting on stage with Eddie Van Halen and playing all Eddie Van Halen licks and try to beat him with his own stuff. It just doesn't work. Andy Wood don't even come on this channel no more. I've even commented to him. He don't comment back. He knows better. Yeah, you know why no one's selling that dream with Ferraris anymore? Because they figured out that all these guys that were selling how to flip houses and make millions were trying to sell you a course on it. Why are you not giving it away for free? You're already a millionaire. Give it away. I got money. I'm not. Just fucking take the information I give you. It's free. Don't pay Beato. Don't pay for a fucking summer camp, fucking 3-day class at $4,000. I give it away for free. Who cares? It's so stupid. Eruption. There's part of it. An eruption playoff. I can't see your icons. Looks like a gorilla. Unita. So like, here's the thing about everything, right? Why would you get up and try to play Ingve Malmsteen against Ingve Malmsteen? He's a living fucking legend. He might be an asshole, he might be this, he might be that, but he's Ingve. He has the right to be. He didn't create the whole style, but he turned guitar into a different style with the progressive metal. You know what I mean? Eddie Van Halen's a pioneer. People mocked him as well. You can't mock giants like that. It just you can't. What's up, Cool Breeze? In front of talented judges. Yeah, I feel a lot better today. I got my sleep. And everybody can see. You see how somebody comes on this channel and they don't have a fucking, they got no substance. Nothing. Zero. And then they run. You see them run? Makes a comment, and then I say, go make a fucking deal. I'll try. Nothing. Yeah, 80 shredders fucking outplayed. And that was like the thing, like back at GIT and stuff. Looking back at that, like I was one of the first guys in there with the auditions. But that, there was a whole thing going on with Mike Varney. Paul got in there in maybe 83, 84. I was gone by 86. So I was in there before Alan Hines. I was in there before Paul Gilbert. But those guys were actually pioneers of what they were doing because they were before they were going into GIT, they were actually recording with Mike Varney and doing albums. But those 80s guys, and a lot of people don't understand that. There were no 80s shredders teaching at fucking GIT. It didn't exist yet. But Chinook wants me to go into great detail. What year did Paul get in there? I don't know. Maybe 93. I saw him in 92 and about 93, 94-ish. Somewhere around there. But he was in there before, not as a full-time student. Marty Friedman was a student. But he wasn't a full-time student. They made deals with these guys. It was because, at the same time, a lot of these guys, it was a lot of money to go there at the time. And some people weren't sure about taking fucking jazz and classical lessons because there were no shred guitar players that could show them what to do because they were the guys. Did he get in there in 82? Oh, what did I say, 94? Yeah, it could have been 84. I don't know, 83, 82. I think it was around 83, 82. I think you're right. Oh, you never saw 3 now? So like here's a great example. Now Dragon City knew Steve Price, who was with Thor. If you look up Steve Price guitar solo Thor, back in 81, he was doing shit that other guitar players weren't doing. He was the Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen of mixed before a lot of those guys. And because he was with like a band no one took seriously, Thor, and it wasn't poppy metal, it wasn't on the radio, it was just like a gimmick kind of thing. They were popular in Sweden and Norway, and they still toured today. I don't know if without Steve, but there was nobody. Look up Steve Price guitar solo. I think it's 81. He's fucking killing it. Yeah, yeah. And then like I know Jason was traveling to some of the other, like Becker, he was traveling to some of the other MITs and stuff. He would do, like, he was at AMI in Atlanta and some others, couple other places. So that's what I mean. They weren't like full-time students. I would go out on the road too. I had a band that was signed, so I would go out at 16 years old, and then I would open up shows for Paul. So I wasn't there for, like, I would miss school, but they were okay with that because you were like a bona fide, if you had a record deal, you were a bona fide fucking guy that was a student. You know what I mean? So people, they didn't give a fuck. It's not a real college. You didn't have to have specific hours. It's not a real college credited thing. That's why I went to University of Miami. Yeah, everyone's a clone, man. And it's okay to learn Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads. I learn it to even today. I got to learn Black Sabbath songs, you know, to go out with War Pigs. Those aren't the songs I wrote, but some of those songs are with Dave Spitz on them. You know, even without them, do I know some of them? Yeah, 'cause I grew up playing some of them. So I have to learn that stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. Even that sounds a little like Dio. Some of that stuff and I'm not. I was a Sabbath fan, but I wasn't huge into learning all their songs. Yeah, there's only so many notes, so you can take those notes. Like I was saying, if you use Eric Johnson, why not go? Now that doesn't really sound like Eric. So you can take the variations of notes and make your own licks out of them. It's all about learning something and making it better, like the guitar manufacturers should be doing. But if we don't have progress in these guitars, like other boutique builders coming to new fronts and, you know, coming up with new materials and making guitars better and more affordable and stuff, then you lack innovation. And it's like creativity as a guitar player. Eddie Van Halen's, at that point in time, there were only so many notes for him, too, because a lot of it was blue bass rock. But how did Eddie come up with what he did? He changed the sound, he changed his playing. You have to be a leader, not a follower. So Yngwie is 100% right. So if I take an Eddie lick, I might play it. And add that lick into one of mine. So like I'm always thinking. You have to not think about what the other guitar player is doing. You need to think about what he's doing, but making it your own. Because you're never going to play exactly like Eddie Van Halen. You're never going to sound exactly like Eddie Van Halen. You can mimic him, but then mimicking is another word for copycat. You know what I mean? You have to be better at it. You know what I mean? So that's just how it goes. Look how fast I went down to 20 from 30 something, right? I bet there were a lot of people on here when I said that fucking I challenge any one of them. I bet you some of those guys were watching that. Maybe an Andy Wood, maybe Tom. They all fucking left. Look how that happened, right? Look at the count now. 19 from 31. So a lot of these people are watching the channel. But like I said, I don't give a shit. I can play. Yeah, Suicide Solution album. Yeah, hell yeah. Look at Bang Your Head. And then Suicide Solution. I used to be able to play the whole solo. Tim's a very technical player, but he loses the sight of what he should be doing, which is entertain people live. You're only going to get guys at your shows, and you're only going to get guitar players at your shows. If you want to be more successful, you got to branch out. Hey, what's up, Danny? So you gotta. Oh, your parents discouraged you. My parents did too. Okay. But there's a lot of great technical players, but they also bash. I don't like that Tim said baby boomers and stuff. Listen, if it wasn't for baby boomers, Tim Henson doesn't exist. So they're ignorant in the fact that they talk shit and bash iconic companies or other players that came before them that paved the pathway for them. That's ignorant and disrespectful. I'll tell you, I'm nothing without Paul Gilbert, Eric Johnson, Frank Marino, Buck Dharma, Ted Nugent, Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads. I mean, Chet Atkins, Roy Clark, Glenn Campbell. If those guys didn't exist, I don't exist as a guitar player. I'm not fucking ignorant enough to say those guys sucked. They didn't know what they were doing just because I can play other licks that they don't do or something like that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that you have to pay respect to the forefathers of music and guitar players like Chuck Berry, and you just have to. That's where Tim Henson makes his mistakes. See, and a lot of these guys, and you got to understand too, Tim Henson, even though he's a player, how did he get discovered and how did he get popular? TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Wasn't some record label saw him and goes, ooh, great marketable music. Yeah, that's the problem. There's so many people in the industry. There's so many fucking hidden things. Like Dragon City just even said, how many disclosures did you sign? Laughing my ass off. You go back in the comments and look at that little conversation. He's 100% right. No, but the labels try to hide everything from everybody now. It's just how it is. The labels want to hide everything. And they don't want even social media guys on YouTube, they want to hide everything too. When was the last time you saw any social media guy? There is a thing called a guy called the Guitar Geek. I don't know who he is. The Guitar Geek. He's got like an afro. He's an okay player, but he shills like a motherfucker. He said he was getting sued by one of the companies. That he ended up in a lawsuit. I don't know whatever happened to that. Why are black people underrepresented in rock music when they help create? That's a great question, bro. Listen, a lot of the music stems back from early blues. I mean, before country music came around, you had music in tribal stuff going back to Africa, one of the earliest countries in the world. I think that country is big because I think with the cowboys and the folk songs and stuff like that, that pushed ahead. And then I think country became, originally, the country with the blues became rock, really. And now country is basically back to what it was. Rocky George. Yeah, there was a lot of black musicians that were underrepresented in them. But I don't think the black people really cared about their color that were musicians. Even Jimi Hendrix was once asked, what did you think about this? He goes, listen, black, white politics, I'm just here to play guitar. Because that was the idea of most black musicians. They were either trying to earn a living in the juke places or playing, and they had fun doing it. And it was part of their lifestyle. And as Westerners, what did we do? We, like everything, cosmic bong hit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that question, but the ignorance, of history taught in the schools, I think, is a part of that. Because let's face it, there is a big push in narrative in schools. There's a big push in universities of narratives. I'm not saying it's left or right, but they leave out a lot of important details in American history. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that's a great point. But between classical and blues and rock and metal and country, it's the same scales. All the all the scales are the same. altered them by taking from other cultures. You know, Greek words, Greek scales, they kind of blended it. And that's why I tell you guys, start mixing your scales up and doing kind of some cool stuff with it. Yeah, blues is really 5, but it's 6. You know, blues is actually more notes than that. The pentatonic's 5, but then you start playing the flat 6, the flat 7. You know, then you're adding a bunch of altered notes from other scales. So what happened is blues kept evolving to a lot of those notes, flat 4s, flat 5s, flat 6s, and then after a while you start to go flat 6, flat. Every note is, you can play any note on here in any key. Any note is fair game. And that was the biggest lesson that I learned from Holsworth. Any note is fair game. Everybody's been altering scales from the beginning of time, and then people tell us we can't do it on our own because there's a theory behind it, when there really is a theory based on genres. But when you start mixing the genres in a Phrygian scale or a Spanish scale or a Greek scale, or then it's altered, and it all comes from blues. Flat 4, flat 5. Flat, and then you start. Sevens. You know, you start adding all these flat 9s, flat 7s, 13s. Yeah, it just becomes like oversaturated with notes. The PG secret scale this morning, without notes in the pentatonic, 5th, weird. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do. So you just have to, like I said, you just trying to, you want to think in a roundabout way of, okay, they're saying this, but if I alter this, that's like a blues rhythm, right? So what's the 5th of that? E. I'm playing the back side and the front side. I'm gonna go to the 5th first, the back side. That's just off the cuff. So when you start to get into the theory part, anything goes. But like, people wouldn't take these pentatonic E minor, or alter the chord. So you're altering chords, and then altering scales became a part of that. But the scales are what came first, and then the chords were based off of that. So it's an interesting thing. So now I look at this E, and it's actually in the B minor position, and the 5 of the E is. So I'm going to the 5 of the E, which is B, which is the 3rd of the E minor is the relative scale or chords of G major, and what you do is it's also the 3rd of G major triad. And that's back to the A. This is the front side. So you start looking at things different. So now I go. I throw the A minor in there. Or I could do that off of the B. I mean, anything is fair game. You just have to have a basic knowledge of 1, 5s, and 3s and your triads. And then you have, yeah, it had a lot of chromatic notes because everything's fair game. You know what I mean? So like even if I'm doing that thing, you could play those chromatic chords too. And it sounds great. Let's see. Because if I flat this triad, then I get a minor in there. So you could probably do a runoff. Or something like that. So you can do a chromatic run off of that probably. Even if you did what I was doing on here. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do, which is cool because I mean, it goes in and out, and if you don't like it, you can change it. You know what I'm saying? Then you can play. Make it sound more metally. There's no rules. As long as the bass is always following you. You can have the drums follow you on the chromatic breaks, like transitions. There's all kinds of stuff you can do like that. Chromatics are great. I love chromatic. I love playing inside the scales. I love playing inside the scales. Everything is fair game. And when you play inside the scale, what are you doing? It's all chromatic. So let's take this chromatic run that I did. Right? Kind of Randy or George-ish. You could do that this way. There's all kinds of cool stuff you could do. Again, this is all off the cuff. I don't usually do that. I'm just giving you ideas off of what Shredder was talking about. Now, is Andy gonna come up with something like that? Fuck no. So even that riff. You can incorporate that into the song. All kinds of stuff that's fair game. All kinds of stuff. And again, now can you move that this way and that way? Of course. You can go. You could go chromatic, but you could go diagonal. Get back the key in your B minor. I've probably given you guys like 20 ideas with with these ideas with the Eric Johnson and licks like that, which is great for me because when you guys ask me something and I start to think about it, then it gives me the idea to try something different. That's why I always say, I learn as much from you guys as you do from me because it helps me to think differently. Yeah, you have to do it with a certain speed. Yeah, and you can't start out of key. So like if I'm here, and that's your flat 5. Which could be diminished or you. And that's also why I said when you're playing licks, you can't just play fast all the time. You got to take a breath. So I do like short runs, a short run. So if I'm like here, that's a run. That's a run. I don't continue it so that it keeps going. I don't play more than that. Short run. You got to do these in bursts. That's the only way to stay sounding tonally. You got to do. See, even that. Even like when I slide. They're bursts, like second bursts. And then you connect all those bursts together. See what I mean? You're connecting these little parts, these little second bursts. That's how you create your phrasing to get it really good. You learn to not just keep going. That's overplayed. That was too many notes with the same repeated pattern, too long. That's better. See what I'm saying? Enough. Now I could take that and play it on the pentatonic. But that's a little longer run, but it's not, I'm not going to keep going. Like, that's why I stay away from scale runs. Because tonally the chords are changing and when you're playing a scale run, it's harder. So when you do the burst, it gives you time to get to the next chord to make it sound tonally. And then you're going position by position. So if you look, instead of going, so you're using that same idea. Whatever you're gonna do, you can skip it too. Skip strings. Sweep picking can be good, but you got to break it up. So same with these licks. So if I'm playing sweeps, that's an arpeggio. But if I start sweeping, do it for a burst like I just did. But if you're going, it's too repetitive and it starts to sound like shit. That's my opinion of it. So that's why I don't sweep anymore. And if I sweep, I might go instead of, because then it just sounds kind of bad. But I might throw it in. Like that. Or I might go. I might add a pattern in it. So, you know, I might do something with a string skip with a sweep. Kind of like that. But I don't like sweeping because everybody, it's kind of like the old Eddie Van Halen thing. If you start tapping, everyone's going to compare you to Eddie. You start sweeping, everybody compares you to Yngwie. You know. Yeah, the 2 or 3 string ones are better for you. Like, you know, and you can take the Yngwie lick. So you're going to start on your half diminished, half minor in G, which is a half step down from your E. And you're going to move it up every minor third. So this pentatonic idea, first finger to pinky, first finger to pinky, first finger to pinky, first finger to pinky, and then you're back in key, which is F sharp. So, but you can do it different ways. You can go up to here and go back. 6 here. I mean, you can do stuff like that too. It just depends, but you know, and again, I wouldn't continue to sweep. I would maybe go up. So like I wouldn't go into another sweep, but I would probably sweep it. So then you could get away with it a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't change every 3, or the augmented one every 4. Yeah. So that helps in that area. Again, I like burst licks, like for a second. And the sweep's the same one. You know, I might do. So there's an arpeggio which has a little bit of a sweep. So like I'll add it in there for like 3 or 4 notes, but I don't do it constant. You know, I might be here. You know what I mean? But again, I always try to change it up. Like that's a walkout. Now there's other notes in there, but the idea is off a diminished note. see what I'm doing? So I take the outline. So I walk it out and swing it around my back. I was never one. I tried to play with my teeth. I used to spin the guitar. I did do that, but so a lot of people would ask me back then. So what I did is I drilled. I used to cut seat belts off of cars, and I used to drill long screws into the seat belts with washers so that the washer would cover. That way I could spin it, and the belt didn't have an adjustment on there. It was just a single strap, a single piece. So you could spin it and not get caught on there with the strap adjustment part, because it had a buckle on there. So the seat belts I'd take them off and just bolt them to the guitars with the washers. So that's how I got away. But a couple times it caught my hair and ripped it out. And I was done with it after that. I was like, fuck that. It's not even good. I forgot who it was, but there was a guy that used to do that all the time, and his hair was separate lengths because his hair kept getting caught. It was different than the other side. The Sammy guy? I like to do that way. So there's no pick. I'm using my thumb, the side of my thumb, to get that with a pull off. Let me see, can you see? I do that live a lot, and they're like, what? How did he didn't pick nothing. It's funny. Yeah, I gotta say, this guitar sounds awesome. But I'll tell you what, because these are made in the same factory and Fender owns them, that guitar sounds exactly like the Charvel that I got from Joe. I want to open both of them up and see if they're made the same inside. Like, I want to check the pots and everything. These are lighter bass strings. I think that's right. How to cheat an arpeggio. Let's see. You play the triad. There you go. Cheating sweep. A cheat arpeggio. Yeah, I love this Charvel. Again, owned by Fender, and they've come in a long way. Now here's the difference. These are Duncans, right? And I got this from a new friend. This Charvel's got DiMarzios. Now this is thicker sounding, I think, to me. It's a little darker, but thicker. Whoops, sorry. This neck, maybe the neck has something. Now here's a great example. This is owned by Fender, the Charvels and Jackson. I rather play this in a Fender Custom Shop. I think these guitars are made just as good. I have no problem playing $1,000 guitar. You know what I mean? And for people that want the $1,000 guitar, go buy a used one for 500. Yeah, it's probably the fucking tuners. That's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard in my life. That Justin Meyer kid. No, it's in the tuners. My ear's better than yours. That sounded like my fucking kid. No, Daddy, it's AI. I know. I can see it. You can't. My eyes are better than yours. You're old. Yeah, the Jackson's better than the Sir. And I love the blue Charvel. Now this one is a little darker sounding, which is cool because now I got two Charvels with a little bit different sound. But the thing is, I can make this sound like that with a different patch. And it's not enough for me to actually do that. What was my idea? I gotta keep playing that because I won't remember my advanced Eric Johnson licks. You can buy my advanced Eric Johnson licks for $999, and if you put Beato code in there and make a face, use the emoji, you can get it for free with a 99 cents. Yeah. And see, Chapman actually had a lawsuit with Philip McKnight for leaking bullshit. That was the first one. I don't know. Somebody told me about that, and I saw it, but I didn't read about it. I don't know what happened between Rob Chapman and Phil McKnight, but he got a letter from a lawyer. See, that's why he's like a pot stirrer. He's leaking information from Tim Pierce through LSL. Fuck it, I said it. Not supposed to. I'm going to get in trouble for that one for sure. You could do... I'm going to write a song with one chord. With different rhythms. Now this neck is better than that neck. I wonder what if here's interesting. What if I took this neck off? No, I can't. Fuck. It don't have the nut. Damn it, man. It's like, what if I put this neck on that Charvel? Oof. Yeah, he's kind of like, yeah. You know what was weird? He's got the same logo as it. Doesn't he have the same logo on the 12th fret on the Chapman guitars as the Solar? So I wonder if it's kind of like a play that they're doing between Solar and Chapman with the same logo. Looks like a figure 8. Those are on the Chapman guitars, right? I always wondered that. I was like, well, I wonder if they're like doing something that we don't know. See, now with the toggle on this down, it's more bassy. Yeah. It's an 8 on the 12th fret. So both guitars have that, right? Doesn't Solar have that? DiMarzio sounds more chunky, yeah. Like a little tighter, though. Let's see. Because now I'm curious. Now, see, that has 9s. Do I have 9s on that? No, 10s. So this is the same gauge string. I just had to make sure. Because I don't want to compare a lesser gauge string. Yeah, the DiMarzio is more gain and tighter. These are more cleaner. Let's see. Let's see it again. Let's now. I like, and here's the difference. I got two Charbels that sound different, which is great. Nah, I don't think so. I think however you mix it would make it stand out. You can push the volume up with a little more treble and mids on it too. But these might be like a DiMarzio distortion, and these might be JB4s. That's what I'm thinking now. I don't think these are distortions. I think this is a DiMarzio distortion, and these are Duncan JBs, because you can hear the difference just in the gain. So I'm thinking this is a bigger gain pickup. Which is better for me, because then I can do this. I can roll the gain off even more and get a cleaner sound. So I can clean it up. See? Right at 12 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock with gain. Idea for a lick. Wait. I'm out of my fucking mind. Yeah, Kiesel's and Les Paul sound great in mixes too, but it just depends on who's producing it and mixing it. Because I can go like this. That's my mixing board. Like that, does that sound better? I think so. Might be a little too much treble, but you just back that off and leave the mix. I don't know. The treble sounded a little better. Let's turn a little more treble up. How does that sound out to you guys? Does that sound better to you? So if I take this off now, let's see if the JB's brighter. Like what would happen? So I turned the treble up on my board, that's all. Sounds good? This is interesting because I'm not adjusting my amp. I would be doing what a mix does because it's mixed. Does that sound better too? I think it sounds better. I don't want to be treble deaf though. Weird, right? See, now you need one more thing with this to compute the margin. Like a bump of 3 on LEDs. Now they sound more identical, right? So you add some hertz in there, some like 2K, and all of a sudden now they sound identical. A little more gain this way. Strange, right? How a mixing. Am I using a USB? Yeah. So I'm going into my Soundcraft, into Scarlett, into my iPhone with Restream. I think it's so everybody knows I was having problem, and I got my mixer's worth a lot of money because I put Midas preamps. My preamps are what the output is going into the Scarlett. To take a Soundcraft board and put Midas preamps in there was a lot of money. That's why I was like, it's got to be YouTube fucking with my sound. Now everything sounds better, right? Yeah, so it's a Kiesel going direct. I mean, a Kiesel. What was it? Kemper. I saw a key. It's a Kemper going direct. And it's a Kemper patch that I altered. It's a diesel channel 3 head. And what's funny is Glam Metal Hippie, I was asking him, what are you using? And he was using was it Fractal, and he was using the diesel channel 3 and the Fractal, because I was like, man, that sounds awful familiar. And he was using a different board. I'm using the Kemper, he's using the Fractal, but that I knew he was using the same thing because I could hear it, which is, my ears are better than yours. No. Yeah, dude, I'm so disappointed that I miss going on yours and Glam Metal. Dude, he's awesome. I really like his channel. He just plays and he rocks out, you know. And a lot of people don't understand. He's playing live, so to play live to all those songs with a click, trying to get into a rhythm with a click, you're trying to groove to a click with a programmed drum or a track. What he's doing is really hard. That's why I respect what he's doing. He's a good guitar player, and his wife or girlfriend's awesome too. Hippie girl or glam girl. This thing's awesome. Let me see. Let me see something next to it. That looks like so that neck looks almost identical to the Charvel in thickness and round. The PV is thicker. Interesting. Wow. The Charvel looks a little thinner to me. It's definitely more round. The Jackson's a little more flat. Yeah, his rhythms get off, but you know what it is? It's trying to play live to those tracks because he's trying to count it in and he goes off. I put my Kiesel away. I signed it and put it in the case. My white Kiesel is put away since I'm not doing a lot of recordings. That guitar, my purple Fender might go in my case in my warehouse too. Because the purple Fender and my white Kiesel are the most recorded tracks that I've done on hits. And I have a list of all the songs with the NDAs and everything in a book. So when I pass, my kid gets it and he can do whatever he wants. He can sell the guitars. It depends what he wants to do with it. And he'll have everything's been verified and everything. And then I got books of my accounts. I have an accountant, so like it's all in there. Everything's logged. And those are in here too. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. Have you ever seen the Les Paul to my right, behind my head, the burst? The one next to the red Jackson or the white one? To my right. This one? That's a R9 Burst Brothers. Those are rare. That one cost me a little bit of money. It's it's a on the floor. Not you mean this one? That's a Mineric. That one? Oh, my jaw hurts. What is this? What is the special? This one? This is a Burst Brothers. This is a R9, a 59. It's like Burst Brothers version. You guys are talking about this one. This one? The mirror guitar? It's one of only 30 made. This is, I always forget. This is number 12 out of 30. It's all gold hardware, real gold, 24 karat gold. They say it's a Les Paul killer. So it's a Mineric, a custom-made Mineric. They only made 30 of these in the world. So all this hardware is all gold-plated, 24 karat gold. I'll put it up. Let me see, I get it all fucked up. There's a serial. And it's all the hardware on here, all that too. That's all 24 karat gold-plated. Guitar for sure. Yeah, I try not to play like this, the R9. These are expensive guitars. I mean, it's 1 of 30 in the world. I mean, it's, you know, it should be in a case, actually. My son found this, and they didn't know what it was. But when I looked at the serial number, I knew there was something wrong. So this is handmade by Mineric out of California. And you could see the body shape is different. See on the bottom with the cutaway, the mirror, and everything. It kind of looks like a Les Paul, but it's been altered very drastically. The headstock's altered. Everything's altered. They're not using the same kind of tuning keys as Gibson. You know what I mean? And that's why they never got in a lawsuit. Need some strings and stuff. Yeah, it's a cool. Here, I can show you my setup. There's the. Let me see. Can you see the board over there? There's the that's my rig with the computer down. Let's see. Can I see the computer? Oh, that might be the computer. And then I got that up there. So yeah, there's a. Put this away before I drop it or something happens. But out of the Les Pauls, probably this gold top here. This gold top is probably the best sounding. Not best feeling or playing. It's nice, but the best sounding Les Paul, one of the better. That would blind someone in a laser show, yeah. And the gold top, I don't know. I haven't taken it apart. I don't even know what kind of Les Paul this is. I don't know if it's a tribute or not. It just says 2016 model. It's some kind of tribute guitar, I think. It sounds fucking good. I don't know. But my best overall playing Les Paul is the white one behind me. That's the best sounding playing. You're swapping yours for the John Sykes? Nice. Nice. That guitar's better than Fender. Yeah, and that's it. There's only 30 of them in the... Well, there's 29 left in the world, wherever they're at. Why isn't that guitar worth a shitload of money? Because most of the shillers don't even know what the fuck it is. Like even the neck on this. It just sounds good. Has kind of like the Charvel sound. And I think I like the studio necks because they're more of the Charvel PV kind of. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, now my white Les Paul is my favorite Les Paul of all time for me. And that's a studio. So these might be like a tribute studio, but my white Les Paul is my favorite playing, sounding guitar that I own. Which is this one back here. And I have a Tommy Thayer purple Les Paul down there too. Here, I'll show you that one. Right down at the bottom. Let me pull that up and put it up high. So there's one more Les Paul way down at the bottom. There you go, purple with purple. But this is my favorite. I had Gibson do this one for me. Let's see if I go this way. Can you see it? Yeah. But out of everything, and these have Dunkins in there. It's got a pearly You have no hair? Is that why you're called Chemo? You know Kevmo, Chemo. The V silent, Kevmo, Kevmo. So no, it's not Corey Feldman. My hair's tied. You've seen the channel. See, I could be funny back. It's not what your mom said to me last night. See, I can be... Oh! Corey Feldman has a tip. No. Corey Feldman? Kinda, maybe. Kinda. I don't know. If I take my hat off, though, probably not. If I turn my hat up, let me see. If I did it like this. Doesn't he do something with like a weird with his hats, Corey Feldman? If I turn it like this, is that more like a? No, this was her exact words, bro. She said you look like Corey Feldman in the face, but from the waist down, you look like LeBron James, hung like a donkey. I'm just kidding, bro. You know what they say with guys with big hands and feet? Hard to play guitar. Fucking finding you should be playing football. No, Kev's always been cool on the channel. I know he's just joking. Yeah, Corey felt well. He got all that shit that happened with the P Diddy's and all that shit. It's out now. It's like that Amanda Burns. She got diddied. Britney Spears got diddied. They got mental problems. They're all on medicine. They all got diddied, bro. JC, and Diddy. I'm short. Yeah. You can see me next year in Lord of the Rings. I'm the fucking troll, whatever they call him, playing guitar. Yeah, that's a little weird, but that all that shit with the Michael Jackson and of course, you know, dude, let me tell you, this is going back into all the music and the Hollywood shit. It's all fucking tainted. That's why if you're going to put your kid in there and you got a kid, you want him in there, watch him like a fucking hawk. Don't sign papers right away. Go to a contract reader, get a lawyer involved. It's a shame. Like I think Amanda Burns or Byrnes, whatever her fucking name is, I think her manager was fucking doing stuff he shouldn't have been with the teenager. You know, they break them. But it's no different than like what social media YouTubers do. They break the guitar thing. There's no fucking Ingve playing a Leo James. I'm not saying they're bad guitars, but there are no fucking guitar pros playing a fucking katana with a Leo James amp. You're not going to go see Journey with a fucking katana and a Leo James guitar. You're not going to see Ingve. You're not going to see fucking Jakey Lee. You know what I mean? All that shit is just social media YouTubers trying to get clicks and paid for their channel so they get free gear and resell it. It's all it's about. You know what I mean? But those guys in the Hollywood, they broke those people just like the industry breaks people, just like social media and the YouTubers are being used for bullshit. What's up, man? See, a lot of these guys like the Jace Allens, they're pawns. They're being used. They're being suckered with money into their channels. It's fucked up. It really is. And they're too dumb to realize what's happening to them. What's up, Ralph? Ralph the Butcher. Dude, that Ludwig drum set is fucking great. Now you want a katana with Leo James. And I'm not saying it's bad gear. What I'm saying is that's not what the pros use. It just isn't. Now, will a pro use a fucking Charvel or a PV? Yeah. You know what I mean? And most of the pros, all these YouTubers that are from like Nashville and stuff, even like, they're starting to use some of that stuff too. But a lot of it, they bash, But what's the reality? John Mayer uses fractal. Neil Shun's using fractal because all those old tones can be put into the fractals and it's more efficient to carry it. That's why I don't do... I love amps, don't get me wrong. But it's unfeasible to walk around with fucking 412 cabinets at a minimum to play in stereo. Now, how would I do that? I'd probably get the 212 Mesa Boogie cabs for me. The old Mesa Boogie with the black shadows, with the metal grills, the Mesa Boogie 2x12, the uprights. And I would take two of those, which is this equivalent of one cab, and I can be fine at any show with the rack. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. The Zach thing, Whoops, sorry. Too much of that. And here's a great example. John Sykes used pinch harmonics a lot, but he did it in a more tasteful way, like Crying in the Rain. He didn't overdo it. I use pinch harmonics a lot too. I might go... But I'm not just doing a pitch harmonic. I'm playing a series of different notes out of an arpeggio. I mix it up. When you mix it up, you want a Pro Tools 7 with the 11 rack? Dude, I'm telling you, I'm so tempted to buy that 11 rack. It's at Guitar Center for like, I probably could get it for like $140. I watched some guys playing the 11 rack, like from a year ago, 6 months ago, doing recordings. It sounds fucking great. It would be more of a studio application. Now here's a great guitar. But let me here's another Les Paul that came stock, and it's an Epiphone. Now that guitar, let me get that so it doesn't neck crack on me. This guitar here is a great buy. These were only $700 with the case, I think. It's an Epiphone, but it's the Kiss guitar. Let me see. It's got all the stuff on there. I've played this in a show. This guitar plays just as sounds like that. It doesn't play as good, but it's close. Man, the action on this might be a little low. No, it's okay. This guitar sounds fucking great. Yeah. The Future, I just played. They got a Flying V Future up at the Guitar Center where I'm at. Fucking unbelievable. You know what the Futuras remind me of? The old Prophecies. The Epiphone Prophecy. Again, this is an Epiphone. I mean, dude, look at the color. This is crazy for it's got like a big metal flake in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. Comes with Seymour Duncan pickups in there. It's like a custom shop. Was until I just cracked the headset. The Epiphone Lizzie Hales are great. I mean, so you can get an affordable product that sounds and plays great. Yeah, it's a pretty blue, and it's all the way through. You know, again, set neck. It's an unbelievable. You can get these for like $400 or $500 used. Again, why am I going to pay $300 for a fucking Leo James when I could get this for $200 more? It's supposed to come with the blue case, Epiphone case, and has a signed picture by Tommy Thayer in the case for $500. What the hell? Yeah, I got some Lizzie Hales too. So I got some Gibson Lizzie Hales, and I have an Epiphone Lizzie Hale. The Epiphone Lizzie Hale plays and sounds just as good as the high-end ones. It's crazy. And it's a great guitar. It sounds just like my studio custom that cost me $4,000. That might be cooler and hold the value, but this is a great guitar for the money. I'm a shill. I shill everybody that I like their guitar. But I mean, again, why would you pay? You can get a really good quality guitar not made, like shit, that actually has a licensing deal from China where they have to look at the quality control. Shilizzy. Yeah, Shilizzy. Oh, dude, that's fucking funny as hell. Shilizzy. So like even on potting, like a lot of people don't understand potting. Like some of the potting techniques, um, the wax versus shellac. Shellac's probably a better potting than but for metal, the wax potting is better than you know what I mean. Just depends what you're doing and what you're playing. I mean, if you're looking for a Les Paul and you don't want to pay the price, find one of these used, and then you're fucking helping some brother out. Fellow guitar guy. I don't want to know what's in your backyard, bro. You might have potting fields back there. I live in Florida with ski slopes in the backyard. No, I'm just kidding. My house is the only house you can go skiing in. How? Yeah. You get chased out of Florida? You were hanging out by the schoolyards? What happened, bro? I think you told me once, but I don't remember. So like even here, it's like a pivot note. So change the lick off of this note. So, oh, you knew a Brewer in Hialeah? Do you speak Spanish? Oh, in the 70s? You learned Spanish in high school? After leaving Miami? So you probably would have got out of it if you spoke Spanish back in the 70s. Too funny, man. Too funny. 3:30. I need to get ready soon. Remember all those Eric Johnson. You gotta take those licks and make them your own. that. Can we do that all the way up on the string? I want to do like a long run in between there. Wait a second. Wait, I have an idea. Wait, I fucked it up. Yeah, he does fives backwards, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he does fives all the way down, and then the 6 with the octave. So you can take Eric Johnson's ideas and turn them into your own licks. Reverse it instead of going 6s backwards. So you've seen me play that through the last probably 2 hours in all kinds of different series, like if you go back and watch it. But I mean, that's the idea, is to take something and keep doing it over and over and over and over and keep getting those, coming up with your own stuff, you know. We're going this way. There's so many ways to create your own stuff. Teach us the Beato spread triads. Did you? For $999, you can get my free online course. $999, you can get my free online course. No, it's free after you pay $999. Type in Rhett the Shill. Those are the same notes, by the way. And the so that's something else I do that you never seen. There you go. You got another free lick. For $999, type in. You know what's funny? These fucking guys don't want to hear me no more. Brad's fucking blocked me from his live streams. Philip McKnight's blocked me from his live streams because I'm bad news for them. It's fucking funny as fuck. It really is. If you get blocked because you speak the truth, they're hiding something. Remember that. Or just debate me. And for you guys that came in late, there's a guy called Chinook who told me that I was full of shit and that Andy would outplay me. I challenged him to fucking make it happen, and he disappeared. One comment gone for a while. I'm gonna have to use this more often. Sorry, Eric. Yeah. For $999, you can type in Rhett the Shill. I'll take 10% off, and then Rhett can pay me the other 10%. Dude, they're all in their 70s. Jizzy's not. Jizzy's my age. And John Kelly, I'll see if I can see him. A Dragon knows him. He was on earlier. Yeah, Andy Wood's just a copycat. Tell me any original lick he's got. He's technically good. He's a good player. But I don't even fucking practice. I'll go on any stage anywhere. Give me 3 weeks to practice fucking 16 hours a day. I'll fucking make them bow to my feet. Listen, Andy's got no original licks, bro. Nothing. Andy ain't gonna be able to do this. No fucking way. I invented that. I created it. Andy Wood has no original licks. He can't even take an Eric Johnson lick and make it his own. You're watching me on TV, right live. He's not, he don't have that. He's a copycat. He wants to tell you the Sir guitars are better than any guitar. I'll take that $300 Fender on any stage, anywhere with him. Anywhere. He's a technically good player. But he's not an original player. That's why he's a hired gun for Rascal Flatts. That's it. He was a hired gun for Creed. Scott Stapp. His album with Scott Stapp failed. His solo instrumental albums are like Tom's. They fail. No offense. They're not the cream of the crop. They're not the songwriters. They're hired guns. They write. Now, Andy, I think, is a better guitar player technique-wise than Tom, but I rather play like Tom. Tom's chording and voicings are more original than Andy Wood. A lot of people don't understand that. I don't know why. Rhett somewhere in the middle, lost. It's like Rick Beato. Everyone talks about, oh, he's a fucking wizard on the thing and he's got all this theory. Why did he fucking choke with Nuno Betancourt? Because he's not a great guitar player. I don't care if you know theory and can teach it. It's what you do with it. And I keep telling you guys, it's not how much you know. It's not that. It's what can you do with your playing. Yeah. If I heard Andy playing with my eyes closed, I'm going to say it's Eric Johnson or Bonamassa. He's a fucking direct copy. The only thing that separates Bonamassa from Eric Johnson, he writes his own music and sings. So when I hear his voice, I know it's Joe Bonamassa. But if Joe Bonamassa's soloing, it's hard to tell them apart. It really is. They're all playing pentatonics, and they're all doing the fives and the sixes. Beato's claim to fame? Well, actually, his claim to fame was a Facebook video that went viral of his kid doing perfect pitch. You can outshine the neighbor's noises. And that's the other thing, you know. Andy Woods has never wrote a hit song. You're never gonna have a guitar legacy until you write a hit song. You're never gonna stop asking people to donate to your Patreon. You're never gonna have a channel where you don't have to rely on it as income. You know why? Because you didn't do it and you can't. Writing music is not the same as playing and copying other people. There's copycats to Eddie Van Halen, but where are they gonna go with that? Unless Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth hires them. You know what I mean? Where are you going to go playing like Eddie Van Halen? You can mimic them, but then it's kind of perfect example. Who was that kid singing with Skid Row? Eric. He's a really good singer. And he was really good at mimicking Sebastian. But then when you heard Skid Row's solo album with him, he didn't know where to put those screams and inflections because he was put on the spot to write. He's not a great song lyricist, and he's not a great person to phrase all those screams. Woke up to the sound of pouring rain. You know, when you hear that, wind would whisper, and you hear all the inflections. He can't write those inflections into his vocal line. Eric Cromwiller, he can't sing like that because he can sing like it when he mimics. So if you take away all the what's if you say to Andy Wood, bro, do not play one Eric Johnson lick. What's he gonna do? He falters because most of his playing is Eric Johnson licks. Then he's got to resort to somebody else, Matteo Mancuso. Yeah, and same with Jonathan Nathan Corda. Great guitar player. Jonathan Nathan Corda. I got him fired from True Fire, along with Rhett Shull. But see, Cordy ain't going to tell you that. So what happened with him in True Fire? Me. Because I went after Rhett, and then I told him, well, you might as well let him go too, because he shills for Rhett and Beato and all these guys. Jonathan Nathan Corda. He's a good player, but then you watch Jonathan Nathan play to other people's songs live. He's not doing what he plays on his channel. Yeah, really. Just like Rick Beato don't talk about the copyright thing with Universal Music Group anymore. I put an end to that too. Guthrie Grovan's fucking great. He'll outplay me and Andy Wood together. See, now you're talking about a real player who does his own hammer-on patterns and See, this is a great example of an instrumental guitar player, Guthrie Govan, who created his own licks, so he has his own identity. When I hear Fives, I know who the fuck that is. I hear fucking Andy Wood, I think Eric Johnson. Yeah, he used to start. Yeah, so here, Jonathan Nathan Corda used to start all his videos with the True Fire ad. And I cut that shit out quick because they were shilling each other, and that's when Rhett went political and stuff. So I talked to True Fire and said, bro. And he goes, well, we can't have that. Andy James is great too. Andy James is more on the metal side, where Guthrie's a lot of. The problem with like if you're comparing Andy James to Guthrie Govan, Guthrie does a lot of chicken picking. He can play. Govan can play anything. He's like another Michael Lee Firkins. Now, see, Guthrie Govan made it more popular than Michael Lee Firkins, and Michael Lee Firkins can play everything that Guthrie can, and hardly any people know who, Michael Lee Firkins is, which is sad to me because Michael Lee came out in the 80s. He's another fucking whiz. He was a whiz kid back then. He did all the chicken picking, the jazz. Marshall Harrison is a fucking beast too. No one knows about him. Daryl Gable, another fucking master guitar player. Alex Hutchins. I even invited Alex to come play with me, Beast and Patrick, if he ever makes it to Florida. And I told him, I don't know if I can hang with you, but I can kind of hold my own. But when Alex gets going, Alex Hutchins is another one of those guys, like a Guthrie Govan. Alex has a lot more feel in his playing. I like Alex Hutchins out of all those, like True Fire and those guitar players of guitar players. I'll take Corey Feldman. Or Jit Boy. I'll take Corey Feldman. Because he's laughing all the way to the fucking bank with Limp Bizkit on tour. But I don't know. I don't know if he's broke. I know he just broke up with his girlfriend. She's fucking wacko, man. That girl doing all kinds of shit now. Frances Dunnery. Really? Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Guthrie Govan. Tom Morello I like, but, it depends what you're asking me. On a technical ability, Guthrie Govan's way better. But on a writing song for popular, Tom Morello. Yeah, he's like a hack, but you can't, the Audio Slave shit was good, man. Like a Stone, that's some good shit. Now, how much Tom Morello had, that's the other thing. Chris Cornell is dead, so you can't say, Chris, how much of Like a Stone was your input on the guitar? Because Chris played guitar. So how much of that song did you write? So was Morello just like a hired hand in the band? Audio Slave? It's hard to say, you know what I mean? Shilling in the name of... That's funny, bro. Shilling in the name of... Dun dun show! That's fucking funny, bro. That really is. Shilling in the name of... I forgot. I don't remember. There was somewhere around there. I forgot how to play a lot of songs. Godsmack. She's country. So many songs were written cool with the drop D shit. Yeah, you should do more burst stuff. Like I said, even with the fast stuff, more burst. And then let it breathe. So like even if I did a run, if I do something like, that's a run. A run. A run. A run. A run. A run. So now you put all those runs together. You know what I'm saying? That way, that's why you break stuff apart. And maybe when you runs, you start splitting apart. Shred lick, blues lick. Shred lick, blues lick. Think of a boxer. Punch. Adjust. Punch. Adjust. Combination. So maybe you combo your licks and you do the burst like a jab. 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 Combination. You know what I mean? So like something like that where you're kind of mixing it. Or you do, like I said, the blues thing with that shred. Whoops, sorry. So you're mixing a shred with a blues. So now you got... Take moments. And you gotta break it apart, because when you just do this, it starts to sound more scale or a repeated pattern. You gotta break it apart. So like even if you're doing like a maybe go back and forth. Separation. So look at that's a cool idea too. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. I'm just doing this off the cuff to give you ideas to break everything up apart. Like I was talking about the breathing. I mean, you gotta break it apart like in breaths. Kind of like that. Phrasing is probably one, after all the technique you learn, phrasing is going to be the hardest thing for people. Like putting tasty things in order. Because you have the paragraphs, you have the words, you have the sentences, you got the punctuation. Now to create the story. Paragraph, 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 paragraph. Lick, 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 lick. Put together to create a story. That's the best way I can explain it. So lick, 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 lick to create the paragraph. One, that's a paragraph. 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 Then you're building the story based off paragraph. Like burst licks are paragraphs, and you put the paragraphs together to create the story that you're looking to express. That's the best way I can explain that to anybody. You know, so like even a long run, it might be an 8 count, but I'm like, you're done. The problem with that is if your chords are changing, so your tonality is changing, where you're going chromatically, and you're gonna have to pick on the spot where you end it with the chord. You're gonna have to time the chord with the end of the run. That's another hard part when you're doing fast runs. You got a time where you're gonna stop and catch the note of the chord. G, like it. Where are you gonna catch it? You know what I'm saying? And on the verse, now you're working on the arpeggios and the tritones. So you're looking at the chord tones too. That's a big part of it. You know. E. See how I work around the E and know where all the E's are? That's a very important part of playing. Lick, I was doing that lick. E and G. E and G. Relative minor to the major. So I'm using the licks in a tonal manner. That's a part of the phrasing that's very important. You have to see tonality, you have to see the notes where you're ending notes and going to your next one in the lick. You know, that's where a lot of people get mixed up on the phrasing aspect of everything. You know what I mean? Shilling me softly. That's fucking funny. So there's a lot of important things that go into your phrasing. So you can learn all the technique you want. But then if you're overplaying with speed and not taking a breath, it's going to sound like garbage. I mean, it's kind of like just a drummer going full bore. There's no groove. But if the whole band's doing that, after about a minute, if you're going, it's going to sound like shit. You're going to be like, enough already. Change something up. I can't fucking take. So if they let's play 10 songs at that speed in a row, you're going to never want to see that band again. You have to take those breaths and look at where you're ending. See what I mean? That's a great resolve like that. But I mean, that's the G string. Yeah, the G string is like my so like when I look at this is the E minor scale. I look at this G string. That's my minor major turnaround. I'm on a 2. So you got major, minor, the flat third. So I using the bar chords. I think of the third string as my turnaround for my major or minor. So this G string is like a transition string for me. Because that's where all my blues notes are on. I mean, there's some more stuff for you that you can work on as well. So all those ideas with licks. But then you got to start looking at the tones. And then the same thing if you're going to go like the lick I created, the diminished lick. It's a walk up. It's based on it. Again, you'll never see anyone doing walkout licks like that. It's just not. No one's ever thought to. Everyone will walk this out. That's the easy way to go. To walk your first finger out with a lick. That's a lot harder. And I can't even do that like a lot in a row. Major 7. Yeah. Very good, Shredder. So if here's a great thing. Major, minor. So D is C is major, major, minor. So you look at this. So now you know you flatten your third. But if you're playing the major, it's here. That major, the third, determines if that's what triad that is. Metal may mix them. I mean, so your triad, G major, G minor. So you just got to kind of look at it and think of that stuff. The chord I was starting with, kind of. It's all in G major, which is E minor. But it's just a matter of practice and putting that shit together. Again, I don't practice. I never practice. I haven't practiced in years. The only time I really practice is when I come on here to create new licks. When somebody gets me going and says something like the bottom off. Sixes. So instead of doing octave to the octave, maybe you go. You know what I'm saying? You could create your own licks. You don't have to be an exact copy. You can take their ideas and make it your own. I gotta pay my light bill. I don't have Patreon, but I am a diabetic. For $999, or send me a box of donuts from Krispy Kreme. The lessons are free. everybody. I'm gonna have to run. It's 4 o'clock. I gotta pay my light bill and get my Beato on. I gotta get ready soon. I'm gonna go see Quiet Riot. I asked Robert Sarzo because I was sent tickets at the last minute. I'm like, hey bro, help me out. I I gotta get back. And I don't have it's hard when guys are touring. It's hard to get a hold of them unless they call me. So I asked Robert to call Rudy, and he said, "Dude, he already turned the guest list in." Rudy already knew what I was gonna ask him. Robert. But I'm gonna where they're playing tonight at the Dania Beach Casino. You have to go up escalators, even the band. There's no way to get in there but one way. So, yeah, thank you guys. Again, you guys inspire me to take a Bonamassa lick and make some cool licks out of it. They're napping. Yeah, so I don't know what'll happen there if I can get hold of like Kenny or Johnny or Johnny Kelly is his name. But if I see somebody there, I'll see if I can get backstage or whatever, and I'll call Rudy. If I can get backstage, I'm going to call Robert. I don't keep saying Rudy. They're very similar. I'll call Robert and have him on the phone with me when I talk to Rudy. That should be kind of funny, I think. Yeah, this is a great guitar, man. I think you could get these for $400 or $500. And if you put your Beato code in there, the Red Chill, you can pay my bills with free donuts. All right, everybody. I got to go. Shilizzy. Almost sounds like shellac. Shilizzy. That's funny. All right, everybody. Let me take off. It's always a pleasure to hang with you guys and talk about some of the other stuff and everything. Sorry about last night, me being so out of it, but I wanted to tell you guys the truth and what happened. That Fender got bullied into the PRS thing. Again, PRS would have received that. They would have been the first ones to get a cease and desist letter. And Wall Street is not leaking anything out. Wall Street Journal is investigating the story as it's coming out, and somebody's leaking information to them. Some of it's true, some of it's not true. And Guitar Player is not, or Guitar World is not calling these people. They're going off of what Wall Street did. So there you go. The truth is, just gotta wait until the fucking end. And then we'll know. All right, peace out, everybody. My pleasure to always hang out with you. I'll text Jerry and stuff. I'm gonna go on Mechanic Jams, check out that and some other stuff before I get ready, real quick. And peace out. Have a great weekend. What is today? Fuck, it's Friday. No, is it Friday? No, it's Saturday. I don't even know what fucking day it is anymore. I should get out more often, right? Peace out. Maybe I'm gonna, you know what I'll do? I'll charge my other phone and maybe record the show with the iPhone camera. Now I'm thinking. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day and a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. I don't know when. It's always a pleasure for the hangs. Peace.